The U.S. Mexico border stretches 1,930 miles, with 696 miles protected by a massive steel wall, standing over 29 feet high and featuring 4-inch gaps between posts. The wall is reinforced with concrete and steel in places to prevent cutting, and it's coated with black paint to make it hotter to the touch. In high-traffic areas like San Diego, double fences and advanced surveillance technology, including drones and sensors, help secure the border. The origins of the border wall. The concept of a barrier along the U.S. Mexico border has a long history, and its roots stretch back further than most people realize. The idea of building a physical border barrier gained momentum in the 1990s during President Bill Clinton's administration. In 1994, Clinton initiated the Operation Gatekeeper, which aimed to increase border enforcement by constructing fences in select areas of the border, particularly in California. This marked the beginning of a larger trend of physical border barriers that would continue to expand in the decades that followed. As the years went on, the construction of the wall was phased in incrementally. The Secure Fence Act of 2006, signed by President George W. Bush, authorized the building of 700 miles of border fencing, further cementing the idea that a physical barrier could curb illegal immigration. By 2010, the U.S. had installed around 650 miles of border fence, mostly in urban areas, but critics argued it was not enough to fully address the issue of illegal immigration or drug trafficking. The border wall continued to evolve in both scope and scale as new administrations took office, with both Republican and Democratic presidents overseeing varying degrees of expansion. The purpose of these barriers, however, remained constant: reducing illegal crossings into the U.S., preventing drug trafficking, and securing the southern border. Trump's role in border wall construction. Donald Trump made the construction of a border wall one of the defining promises of his 2016 presidential campaign, framing it as an essential tool to stop illegal immigration and improve national security. Once in office, Trump made good on his pledge, directing the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, to prioritize building the wall. Although Trump originally envisioned a massive concrete wall stretching across the entire southern border, experts within DHS and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers persuaded him that a steel barrier with better visibility and more cost-effective design would be a more practical solution. This led to the construction of what became known as the Trump Wall, a series of steel bollard fences that replaced older, less secure barriers in certain parts of the border. Between 2017 and 2021, Trump's administration managed to complete about 458 miles of new fencing and reinforced existing barriers in some areas. His administration focused particularly on high-traffic regions with heavy illegal crossings, like parts of Texas, Arizona, and California. However, his efforts to push for more wall funding faced opposition in Congress, and a significant portion of the proposed project was never fully realized before the end of his term. Despite the construction that took place, Trump's border wall became a subject of heated debate throughout his presidency. Many criticized the project for its environmental impact, cost, and effectiveness. Proponents, however, pointed to the wall as a tangible step toward ensuring border security. When Biden assumed office in January 2021, he quickly halted further border wall construction, signing an executive order halting contracts for new segments of the wall. Instead, Biden's administration advocated for a combination of other border security measures, including technological enhancements, additional personnel, and improved infrastructure. The debate surrounding the wall continues, with ongoing discussions about the most effective ways to manage immigration and secure the U.S. Mexico border. How smugglers bypass the wall. Despite the vast investment in the border wall, criminal elements, particularly drug cartels and human traffickers, have found ways to bypass it. Smugglers have demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in their methods to breach the barrier, often using readily available tools to cut through the steel posts that make up the wall. The angle grinder, a powerful tool used in construction, has become the go-to weapon for smugglers. With just a few minutes of work, they can cut through the wall's steel beams, creating a gap large enough for people and goods to pass through. In some instances, it takes as little as 20 minutes to cut through a post, and the wall's modular design makes it possible for smugglers to repeatedly return to the same spot and cut through the seams again and again. The metal posts are anchored deep into the ground, but once cut, they create a swinging cat door effect, which can be pushed open to allow smugglers to pass. The use of these power tools is not without risk, and smugglers take great precautions to avoid detection. Working mostly under the cover of night, they often drape blankets over their tools to hide the sparks generated by cutting and to muffle the noise. Lookouts, who are typically positioned nearby, keep an eye out for Border Patrol agents and warn the smugglers when it's safe to continue their operation. Additionally, in some areas, smugglers bypass the wall entirely by climbing over it. They often use rebar ladders or ropes to scale the wall, which is designed to be towering, ranging from 16 to 29 feet in height in some places, but still climbable with the right tools. Though the wall was meant to act as a deterrent, the reality is that it has done little to stop the continuous flow of illegal activity. Even though the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, has reported seizing large quantities of drugs and arresting individuals attempting to cross the border illegally, smugglers remain resourceful and persistent in finding ways to defeat the wall's defenses. This ongoing challenge calls into question the effectiveness of the border wall as the sole solution to the problems of illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and human smuggling. Experts have noted that a holistic approach, including increased reliance on technology such as drones, sensors, and surveillance systems, along with stronger international cooperation, may be more effective than physical barriers alone. The use of tunnels for smuggling. While physical barriers like the wall may seem like the ultimate solution to stopping illegal border crossings, smugglers have long relied on a more covert method: tunnels. These underground passages have been used for decades to move contraband, people, and illegal substances across the U.S. Mexico border. Tunnels are often dug beneath the physical barrier, evading detection by traditional border security measures. Between 2017 and 2019, U.S. authorities discovered around 40 tunnels along the southern border. These tunnels are typically used to smuggle drugs, weapons, and sometimes people into the U.S. The sophistication of these tunnels varies, but some are equipped with advanced features like rail carts to carry large quantities of contraband, ventilation systems to allow for air circulation, and even elevators for easier transport of goods. In 2020, one of the most significant tunnels discovered stretched an astounding 8 miles, running from Tijuana, Mexico, all the way to the San Diego area in California. This particular tunnel was one of the largest and most technologically advanced to date, making it a major concern for U.S. authorities. When a tunnel is discovered, U.S. authorities typically respond by filling the U.S. side of the tunnel with concrete, while Mexican authorities are responsible for sealing the tunnel on the Mexican side. However, the existence of these tunnels highlights the ingenuity of smugglers and the limitations of physical barriers like the wall, which are ineffective at stopping underground crossings. Challenges in completing the border wall. The construction of the border wall has been fraught with challenges from the start. While the wall is often portrayed as a simple solution, the reality is much more complex, and many sections of the border are simply not suitable for a physical barrier. One of the most significant hurdles is the Rio Grande River, which forms part of the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Spanning over 1,250 miles, the river poses a unique challenge for wall construction. In some areas, it is impossible to build a continuous wall, as the geography simply doesn't allow it. While floating barriers have been considered as a way to stop illegal crossings in the river, these measures have faced legal opposition from federal judges, citing environmental concerns and challenges related to water rights. In addition to natural obstacles, there have also been issues with land ownership that have slowed construction in some areas. Parts of the border are privately owned, and the government has had to negotiate with landowners to obtain the necessary land for construction. In some cases, landowners have resisted selling or allowing construction on their properties, further delaying the project. Rushed construction efforts under the Trump administration have also led to incomplete sections of the wall, particularly in areas where gates or access points were needed to allow for emergency situations or maintenance. These gaps, combined with the rushed timelines, have left certain areas of the wall incomplete or poorly constructed. For example, gates that allow Border Patrol agents to access areas like rivers or streams were sometimes left out, creating vulnerabilities in the wall. Additionally, the change in administration in 2021 has shifted priorities. President Biden halted new wall construction and called for alternative border security strategies, such as the use of advanced surveillance technology and increased border personnel. This policy shift has left parts of the border wall unfinished, with a more comprehensive border security strategy under development. Are the wall and its gaps a waste of money? One of the most contentious aspects of the border wall is its cost effectiveness. The financial commitment for building the wall has been substantial, with estimates placing the total cost of construction at around $15 billion for the sections built during the Trump administration. This price tag includes not only the construction of the wall itself, but also significant maintenance costs that are expected to run into the millions annually. These costs cover repairs, upgrades, and the upkeep of the structure to ensure its continued security function. Despite the significant investment, critics argue that the wall has been a waste of taxpayer money. They point to gaps and vulnerabilities in the structure that still persist. Although the wall serves as a deterrent in some high-traffic areas, it has been far from an impenetrable solution. The continued use of tunnels, climbing techniques, and cutting tools to bypass the wall suggests that physical barriers alone are not sufficient for preventing illegal activity. In fact, smuggling cartels have demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in circumventing the wall, with tunnels allowing goods and people to pass undetected and cutting tools quickly making breaches in the steel. Furthermore, the economic efficiency of the wall has been heavily questioned. Opponents argue that funds could be better allocated to alternative border security methods that are more effective and less invasive. For example, investing in surveillance technologies like drones, motion sensors, and artificial intelligence could provide a more comprehensive approach to border control. Supporters of the wall, however, believe it plays an integral role in the broader strategy of border security. They argue that while the wall may not be a standalone solution, it is a critical component of a multi-layered security system. When combined with technology and increased personnel, the wall can be effective in controlling illegal immigration and curbing drug trafficking. High-traffic areas, particularly those prone to large numbers of border crossings, benefit from the physical barrier. Proponents contend that the wall is a necessary deterrent, especially in areas where other methods may not be as feasible. The future of the border wall. The future of the border wall became increasingly uncertain following the election of Joe Biden in 2020. During his campaign, Biden pledged to halt the construction of new sections of the wall, signaling a shift in priorities for U.S. immigration and border policy. This shift has led to intense debate about the continued role of the wall in the U.S. border security strategy. Biden's administration has instead called for a more technologically advanced approach to border security. The focus has shifted toward using a combination of drones, sensors, artificial intelligence, and biometric surveillance to better monitor and control illegal border crossings. By leveraging smart technologies, the Biden administration believes that the U.S. can create a more adaptive and efficient system to manage border security without the need for an extensive physical barrier. Despite Biden's policy shift, the border wall is still being constructed in some areas. This is particularly true in places where construction contracts were already in place before the administration change or where local conditions require physical barriers for security reasons. For instance, areas with rugged terrain or significant migrant traffic might still see wall construction, as it may be the most practical option in these regions. Smuggling with drones, a new threat. As technology evolves, so too does the methodology of smugglers. In recent years, drones have become a new and increasingly common tool for moving contraband across the U.S. Mexico border. These drones, typically small and affordable, are capable of carrying up to 35 pounds of illegal goods, including drugs, weapons, and cash. The use of drones for smuggling dates back to 2015 when U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, captured footage of a drone flying over the border and dropping a 28-pound package containing illegal substances. Since then, drone smuggling has become a growing concern for U.S. authorities. Drones offer smugglers a significant advantage. They can fly undetected over the border, bypassing the physical wall and avoiding traditional border patrol methods. The relatively low cost of drones makes them an attractive option for criminals, allowing them to deliver contraband quickly and with minimal risk. To counter this new threat, U.S. authorities have implemented various countermeasures. These include signal jamming technologies to disrupt drone communications and prevent drones from reaching their destinations. In addition, some agencies have developed anti-drone systems capable of tracking and disabling illicit drones. However, the current legal framework around drone use has posed challenges for fully addressing drone smuggling. Federal regulations on drone use have limited the ability of authorities to take swift action against all unauthorized drone flights. As drone technology continues to improve and become more accessible, It is likely that smuggling operations will increasingly rely on these aerial methods. This presents a significant new challenge for border security, one that requires a shift in focus and investment to keep up with technological advancements. As drones continue to evolve, U.S. authorities will need to develop more advanced countermeasures and policies to stay ahead of this emerging threat. Before settling on the final design for the border wall, 8 prototypes were built back in 2017 to figure out which one would work best. They were put through the ringer, tested to see if they could be scaled, sliced through, or tunneled under. Even with all that, critics still say the wall isn't foolproof, and its construction has stirred up plenty of debate. It remains a big part of Trump's legacy, but whether it'll actually stop illegal immigration, that's still up in the air. For more on this, you might want to swing by the Eagle Discovery channel.